Greetings. My name is Peter Mutinda Uhuru. I'm a student in Dedan Kimathi University of Technology, and I come from Kitui County. That's where I was born. I schooled in Kasala Primary, and I went forward to do my high school education in Starehe Center. And then later, after 4 years, I joined the great Dedan Kimathi University of Technology. Um, I'm here to present one of the modern challenges that are facing our societies. I can also do my abstract in Kiswahili. Kwa majina naitwa Peter Mutinda Uhuru. Mimi ni mzaliwa wa Kitui County na nasomea shule ya chuo kikuu cha Dedan Kimathi. Niko katika mwaka wa 4 na niko hapa kuwasilisha ujumbe kuhusu mambo ambayo yanatatiza jamii zetu, mambo ya kisasa ambayo yanatatiza jamii zetu. Also, I can do the abstract in my local language, my vernacular, that is Kamba. Kwa masito nitawa Mutinda wa Uhuru Peter na umundi kana video ino nenda usovia kana ninenea mathina ala matukwatite kuya utui-ini kwitu kaunti-ini na nthi yonthe Kenya, mathina ala mendee ala motumwa nthi ivaluka. So I will continue my presentation in English. Before I start, my registration number is E028011528/2022. I'm a proud almost graduating electrical engineer in the field of education, and I have chosen one of the sickly behaviors, or I can call it very harmful behavior that is really crippling our country, and that is corruption. Corruption is a term that everyone knows. Everyone is familiar with the term corruption. Corruption is not a new term. Everyone has heard about corruption, and in some cases, even some of you have been involved in corruption cases. Maybe you are the victim, or you were the one who was gaining from the corruption. Corruption can basically be defined as abuse of power for personal gain. Mostly, you find that people who have been elected to be the chief, to be the MCAs, to be the governor, to be the president, those whom we have given power to lead us, they are the one who lead in corruption and in corruption cases. I'm going to talk about some of the major corruption, types of corruption that are really crippling in our modern society. I'll first talk about bribery. Bribery, it's a very common type of corruption. This is where you find people are taking bribes. For example, I'll speak about one of the major cases that has been talked about for years and years, the KDF recruitment in our country, Kenya. You find that some of those who have qualified, the ones who deserve the chances to become KDF officers, and yet they don't have the money to bribe, they end up not getting those chances. In our country, in most of the cases, it has been said that you have to bribe over 100,000 to as much as 500,000 in order to get that position of being a KDF officer. Yet someone very innocent, but yet he has no the financial muscles to bribe, ends up missing such cases, such opportunities to become KDF officer. I will talk about the second case of corruption, that is nepotism. Nepotism is a very major case and very common in our country and in modern society, not just in Kenya, not just in Africa. It's just a case that is affecting the whole world. Nepotism is a case where you find that those who are in power, they choose their relatives, those that they are closely related to, or the people that they know. They are the ones that are given opportunities in government offices. Yet people who deserve those cases, they end up missing such opportunities and chances. You find that if an MCA is a Kamba and is given a tender for road construction, he will only choose about those who his cousins or his brothers to be the head of such a such works. And yet people, they are qualified engineers. Maybe the other person is from another tribe, or they are not associated in any way. He or she ends up missing such a opportunity, not because they did not deserve the opportunity, but because the MCA decided to be corrupt. I'll talk about the other corruption, type of corruption, that is embezzlement of government funds. These are very common type of corruption, starting all the way from the top, that is the presidential seat, downwards to the chief. Embezzlement of funds is whereby you find money or other funds have been allocated for a certain project. Let's focus on roads construction. You find that 1 billion has been allocated to construct a road of a certain length. Then these people who are in government, those who have been given those positions to 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 find people, the engineers who are going to do the job or rather the project. Out of the 1 billion, they take 500,000 and or even more and put in their pockets. What will be the outcome? The outcome will be a very poor road that is that will just go down even after a few years, and there will be need to reconstruct the road. I'll talk about the fourth type of corruption, and actually the last, that is election rigging. Election rigging. This is a very major type of corruption, especially in African countries. I'm not going to specify on any country. I'll just generalize on everything. You find that those who are those who are vying for the positions of MCAs, governors, presidents, etc., they have their men who are in IBC, that is the Electoral Independent and Boundaries Commission. This is is in charge of the board that is in charge of elections, counting of votes, distributing of distributing of the kits for voters and everything. You find that these people who are vying for those seats, some of them, they have their men in the board. The guys, the guys who have their men, they even don't have even a good manifesto or rather an agenda for the people. They don't even campaign much because they know someone got them in the IBC. At the end, someone who deserved that seat will end up missing the chance, and it will be given to somebody else, someone who did not deserve it, just because someone had a bad strategy of having someone who will make him win, whether he wins or not. There is a slogan that has been going around that let them campaign, but we will win. Let them have the voters, but we will win. This is a slogan that has been pulling out by it has been put out by some of the people in government saying that whether you have all the voters, I'm the one who is going to win. What does that mean? They already have someone who is in the government and is in the IEBC, and he is the one who is going to just announce them as the winners, and yet they did not win. Um, I will talk about some of the challenges that are associated with corruption. Corruption is the one of the main problems that comes comes from corruption and embezzlement of government funds and bribery and all those forms of corruption is poverty. Why poverty? Poverty comes in place in this way. Someone who deserved the seat, just because he did not have the money to bribe the IBC commissioners, he ends up missing the seat. And when he misses the seats, someone who had money will get it because he bribed those IBC commissioners. That means the rich will continue getting richer, while the poor will continue getting poorer. I'll talk also about another challenge associated with corruption, that is road accidents. I talked about roads being built very poorly, and in such cases, you find that those roads will be prone to accidents. People will die just because somebody somewhere decided to build a very poor road, a road that is not fit for vehicles, especially in busy roads like the Mombasa Highway. Um, those are the major problems associated with corruption. There are many more, but for now I'll speak about the two. Uh, I will end up my presentation there. My name is Peter Mutinda Uhuru. Is 028011528/2022, Dedan Kimathi University of Technology. Thank you.